scripts and introduction. Can you try this tongue twister? She sells seashells by the seashore. Try it out because we are going to see shells throughout this session. Unique features of Linux is that here all commands exist as utilities. Utilities are located in individual files in any of the system directories. For example, you have a command called ls that will display the content of the current directory. The ls command is associated with the binary file and it will be stored in a directory /bin. What is a shell? The prime component of Linux OS is kernel and shell. Kernel is closer to the hardware and shell is closer to the user. So the kernel is the core of the operating system. It will interact with the hardware. It will not understand the user commands. So it is the responsibility of the shell to receive the command from the shell and interpret it and give it to the kernel. So shell provides an interface between the user and the kernel and executes the program called commands. So shell can be called as a command interpreter. As I said, shell is a command interpreter. It is a command line interface. That means you have to enter the commands. All the commands has to be typed in and the shell will understand that. So it enables the user to access all utilities and resources of the computer. There are different types of shell: Bourne shell, C shell, Korn shell and Bash. What is the process of command interpretation? As soon as you log in, the shell displays a prompt. The prompt indicates that the shell is ready to execute the commands. So when the command is given, entered by the user, shell reads the command, searches for and locates the file, and loads the appropriate utility into memory and executes that utility. If a file is not found, shell displays an error message. After execution, it displays a prompt waiting for you to enter another command. So we can write shell scripts. So shell scripts are used to automate the task. So there are different ways of saying you can enable one to group the commands and execute them at once. So it is a file consisting of a series of commands for the shell to execute. So because you have a lengthy and repetitive sequence of commands, you need not remember it. You can just store it in a file and execute it anytime. So it may manipulate variables and you have got some iteration constructs also in shell script. So it is a programming language. Steps in creating a shell script. Use a VI editor or any other editor and create a file. You have to start the script with hash exclamation /bin /sh. This is called a shebang. This is to indicate that a shell has to be created and to be executed with execute these commands. So you write some code, save the script file as filename.sh. To execute you have got two ways. One is you can just give the shell name and followed by that is file name. Or you can change the mode of that file to make it as executable. So we can see this change mode in some other video. After changing the mode, you can just execute the file by giving /filename. The first command and the easiest one is the echo command. It displays a message on the screen. So you can just say echo within double quotes or within a single quote or without a quote also. You can say echo. This is an example of a echo command. So whatever you have given in the quotes, double quote, it will be displayed here. So this is another way of creating a file. Here you can see that echo that shebang. So when you just give this echo command, this will be displayed on the screen. So instead of displaying it on the screen, I can redirect the output into a file. Here I use this symbol to redirect the output of this echo command to store it in myscript.sh. The next line, echo, within single quote, echo hello world. Here you can see that I have got two greater than symbol. So the first symbol will create the file. If the file is already existing, the content will be overwritten. But if I want to append, then I have to use this double greater than symbol. So here the first line will be hash exclamation bin sh. The second line will be echo hello world. So these two lines are stored in my script.sh. Then I can change the mode. Here you can see that I am using an absolute value 755 to change the mode of the script to be executable. Then I am executing that command file using /myscript.sh. So instead of 755, I can also give a plus rx. This change mode will be seeing in the next video. So here we have given some set of echo commands. So what will happen when I give within double quotes? Here there is a space, here there is no space, and here I have not given any quote, single quote or double quote. Here I have given a star within double quotes. Here I have not given the double quotes, but I have given a star. So hello is enclosed in a double quote. Hello, there is a space, world. Hello, this star is enclosed in a quote and then world. Here you can see that I use a different symbol. This is not a single quote or a double quote. This is called as a back quote. So this instructs the Linux to execute the command and substitute the result here. Here I have given a single quote. We'll just try it out. What will be the result? Hello world. The output is like this. Here there is no space, so there is no space here. If I give without quotes, it just prints as it is. Hello star world. Nothing new. So whatever is given in the echo is being displayed here. Now you can see that I have not enclosed these things with the quotes. I get a different result. What is this? Hello w.text a.text world. Here the star stands for a wildcard character. Here it stands for the content of the current directory. So here you can see that the directory contains only two files, w.text and a.text, that gets displayed here. And rest are all same. Hello world. Here you can see that even though I have given more space here, the space is not displayed here. I enclosed it with the code, so it is printed as it is. Here you can see that instead of ls, the content of the directory is given here, w.text and a.text, and world is being displayed here. And then you have got a hello world. How do I create a variable? So here I can give a variable equal to then value. Now you can see that there is no space on either side of the equal to sign. If you give a equal to sign space, then you get an error. Here you can see that name equal to Alex Jane, name 1 Paul, CTR 1. So I can give any value. I can either enclose it with a double quote, or without double quote I can give an integer value also. So how do I name a variable? A name of the variable can contain only letters. It can be lowercase letters or it can be an uppercase letters. You can also have 0 to 9, and then you can have an underscore character. Linux shell variables will be in uppercase, but users can write it in a lowercase letters. Here you can see that these are all the valid variable names, underscore li, underscore capital ALI. These two variables are different. These are all invalid variable names. So first character should not be a numeric. And then this is a hyphen. Here also hyphen. This is a different symbol. So these are all the invalid variable names. So as I said, how do you reference a variable? I can just say variable 2 is equal to dollar variable 1. Variable is equal to hello. Echo dollar variable. So this hello will be displayed here. So I can just give a variable name equal to some value. But when I refer that variable, I have to prefix it with the dollar symbol. You can also use this curly braces for concatenation of variable value with a string. We'll just see an example here. You have a variable called 4 which has got a value sun. You have got something called 4 shine with the value moon. Suppose I just say echo dollar $4 shine, the value of that variable 4 shine will be displayed. So you can see that it displays the moon. But suppose I am enclosing this 4 using the curly braces. So what happens is value of that 4 will be placed here, and that will be appended with a shine. So you get something like displays sunshine. Now you try this example. We have today is equal to 20, x is equal to dollar curly braces today th, echo dollar $x. What will happen when you give a echo dollar $x? Suppose I have not given a dollar symbol here, what will be the result? Just think over. How do I read a value into a variable? In the previous example, I just assign a value. How do I read value from the user? So you can just give the read variable name. Here you can see that echo, enter your name, read my name, echo hello. I am referencing this variable dollar my name. Here you can see that echo dollar my name. So the output will be like this. It prompts enter your name. The user enters her name Shubha. Then it will say hello Shubha, and then here echo my name. So it will just display the name. This is again another example where we are going to add some data. I just want to have a numeric variable. Here you can see that x is equal to hello, y is equal to 10. Suppose I say expr $x plus 1, I get an error. Expr non-numeric argument. Now here you can see that $y is equal to the backquote expr $y plus 1. Here, this plus symbol must have a space on either side of that. Otherwise, you get an error. So here, I just display that y value. I get 11 because y is equal to 10. I'm just adding 1 to that. I'm storing it in the same variable. And when I display it, I get 11. So in Linux shells, you have got two types of variables. One is called as local variable, another is called an environmental variable. Local variables are also called as a shell variable. The purpose of that local variable is to configure the shell itself, storing the data or the command output. So it is a local to the single shell, and they are not inherited by child shells. So these variables are stored in these two directories, etc bash rc or tilde hyphen slash dot bash rc script. Environmental variables, they are used to configure other commands or programs. They are inherited by child shells. They are stored in these four: etc profile, bash login, profiles dot profile. So it is stored in all these scripts. We'll be seeing these types of variables elaborately in the next video. Thank you for watching.